Tonight, BWCA closed, a move that's dealing a big blow to businesses in the area when they say they need to be open by to avoid major losses.
And an uncertain future, how non-essential businesses in Wisconsin are preparing for another 6 weeks of being shut down.
And later, taking it to the streets, protesters demonstrate in front of Minnesota's Governor Tim Walz's residence, demanding an end to the state's shutdown.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. Businesses up the North Shore rely on campers headed to the Boundary Waters. Now some are expecting to feel the ripple effects after news that the BWCA will be closed to campers until May 4th.
CBS 3's Brian Campos spoke with a Grand Marais business bracing for the bumpy road ahead.
It's a pit stop for many heading up to the BWCA, but Mike Prom, owner of Voyager Canoe Outfitters, says timing actually works in their favor.
Timing actually couldn't be better, being April. So the Boundary Waters being closed right now is pretty much a non-issue because there's ice.
Prom says it's still too early to tell just how big of an impact this closure could have. Along with the ice, most of the visitors come a bit later in the spring and into the summer. But he added if the closure does go beyond May 4th, it could mean an extreme blow.
If it was the end of the summer or we lose a whole season, that's scary. We're kind of like a farm in that we got to put a crop in. We make our living in 3 to 5 months, and so if we lose a couple of those months, it's going to be really difficult.
Prom says they are already starting to see fewer nonprofit groups like the Boy Scouts and church groups they normally see booking trips around this time.
Those are the kinds of reservations that, one, take more time and they get planned farther in advance, and those are the cancellations we've taken.
He says emails and phone calls have also gone silent during this stay-at-home order. Now he's looking for other ways to keep people interested, like social media campaigns.
We want people thinking about it because Minnesotans outdoors is therapy. That's our drug, and we're going to need that therapy when we're done. It's just a matter of when that is.
Prom says 65% of his guests are from the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, and 80% are from Minnesota, so he's hoping he'll see a surge in visitors once the state's restrictions are lifted.
Prom added they are hoping to have people returning to the area by Memorial Day weekend, but anytime after that, the percentage of losses increase daily.
Split Rock Lighthouse is among more than a dozen Minnesota Historical Society sites and museums to remain closed through the end of June. Lighthouse manager Hayes Scriven said today a majority of his staff at the lighthouse have been furloughed with the announcement. They're among 274 MNHS employees across the state to receive the notice. That's just under half of the organization's workforce.
You know, those were just excruciating decisions to make, but because we're closed to the public right now, and many of these positions are public facing, they aren't able to carry out their work. And so that's the decision we made.
In-person events, field trips, and rentals are also canceled.
All right, let's check in now with Dave for a quick look at the weather. Hey, Dave.
Hi there, Kristen. Well, here I am once again out on the deck. You know, if this virus thing had just waited until July, it'd be fun to be out here at this time of night. We've had a week-long cold snap, and it's going to be a little bit nippy tonight, but on a bright note, not as chilly as the past couple of mornings. Let's talk about high temperatures that came around our region today. Normal high temperature this time of year, it's around 50 degrees. Today, we weren't quite so lucky to get there. We ranged from 37 in Ely to 45 in Superior, down to 37 for much of the Upper Peninsula, and it was even only 36 up the Gunfoot Trail a little bit. 45 degrees was achieved down towards Moose Lake. Well, tomorrow we take a closer step towards normal, as our expected range of temperatures might go about 45 to 50 degrees. The day planner for tomorrow says the morning start, at least closer to the lake, will be around 20 above, although it will dip into the teens farther inland, but not single digits this time around. High pressure's got a hold of us, so we should have a partly cloudy sky for our Friday. The day planner there says Thursday, but that's been just glitching just a little bit here today, like some other things with the computer. Hopefully the high pressure won't glitch on us tomorrow, and we'll get that sunshine, and by Saturday we could get 50s. We'll talk about it in just a bit.
Thanks, Dave. 7 Midwest governors, including the 3 in our region, are working together to decide when to reopen the economy. The governors of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky announced the coalition today. In a statement, they said the economies of the Midwest states are reliant on each other. They plan to use a fact-based, data-driven approach, including looking at infection rates and hospital capacity. The statement says reopening the economy in phases will be most effective if the region works together. States on the East and West Coasts have formed similar coalitions.
A huge announcement today from Wisconsin's governor. Tony Evers extended the state's stay-at-home order by a month and a half. It's a measure he hopes will slow the further spread of COVID-19. But it's also tough news for shuttered businesses and laid-off workers. Tonight, CBS3's Jesse Slater is hearing from the owner of a Superior shop struggling to stay afloat.
Governor Tony Evers is asking the people of his state to stay isolated until the end of May.
Safer at home is working folks, and it's because of all of you that we are where we are today.
The order sets with every good intention towards public health, but could have devastating consequences for small local businesses.
I've been closed for quite a while.
Owner of Superior Shop, once again used and new, says the extended closure could mean huge trouble.
That's a long time for businesses to be closed. Not just me, but every business to be closed.
She's not against the stay-at-home order, but says the 6-week extension is a bit premature.
It should be going on a week-to-week basis, I think, instead of doing it for another month or over a month.
However, the governor did lift some restrictions on stores like Utenan's, where customers can now make purchases through curbside pickup.
If there's something that you like, let me know. So if that happens, then I will bring them the bag out to the parking lot.
A measure this small gift shop says could be beneficial to many closed shops.
I don't know how long these small businesses can last.
Superior Mayor Jim Payne announced Thursday grant programs to assist businesses. He also offered some words of encouragement in the thick of uncertainty.
The end of this will come. We will recover. You will achieve stability in your personal life and in your business again. We are going to do everything we can to support that.
Evers is also now allowing golf courses to open across the state as a part of fewer business restrictions. He says that the safer at home order is working, but he encouraged people not to let up just yet. For more information on the order, head to our website. Meanwhile, Superior School District leaders reacted to Evers' decision to continue distance learning through the rest of the school year. In a statement, Superintendent Amy Starzecki says they will continue their strong at-home learning structure and provide food service to students and families through the regularly scheduled school year. She plans to share more specifics soon.
Governor Tim Walz says Minnesota needs to be testing 5,000 patients a day for COVID-19 before he thinks it would be safe to reopen the state's economy. Today, leaders from both of Duluth's hospitals shared their thoughts on that statement and the impact of reopening the economy too soon. CBS3's Emma Quinn has the story.
The biggest question on everyone's mind is when will life get back to normal? Duluth area hospital leaders say if it were to happen too soon, there could be a major impact.
But we are not ready to open up everything. We will, I'm afraid, experience a significant increase in disease if we do that.
But doing it too soon will lead to a worsening of the peak with more people affected, more people dying, but potentially a second or even a third wave as well.
This week, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said he will consider reopening the state's economy if the state hospitals are able to test 5,000 patients a day. Essentia health officials say at this point, the state isn't even testing 2,000 patients a day.
But certainly the emphasis, they talked about 5,000 tests per day. I would say that's capacity. We're currently at less than maybe, say, 1,500 per day, the whole state. But certainly we want to give people the opportunity to be tested if they're symptomatic. But it's more about the supply chain.
St. Luke's and Essentia officials say they've started testing more groups of people, but they're limited by the supply of tests. But doctors at both hospitals say it's not just about the ability to test patients.
5,000 number is sort of arbitrary, and it's a good goal to have additional testing capacity. But it implies a lot of other things. Just because we can test, we have to be able to take action on those results. And so we want to be able to diagnose people who have active disease and exclude them from public contact.
Officials say right now Minnesota has the lowest infection rate in the country. Local doctors say that's partly because of Minnesota's social distancing efforts, and reopening the state's economy too soon could seriously damage that.
As we get more testing capacity, as we can identify the individuals who really need to be kept away from other folks, I think we may be able to do targeted openings of the economy, and I think that would be really important and impactful.
I think we're all going to need to be patient, though, and realize that this is going to take a lot of grit to get through and to save lives.
Meanwhile, Mayo Clinic officials in Rochester say they have the capacity to handle the amount of testing the governor is looking for.
Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, protesters gather in Minnesota looking for an end to the stay-at-home order.
And David's in next with the full weather forecast.
Get your news on the go, the CBS 3 mobile app.
You gotta feel it to believe it. Get Extreme Internet starting at $19.99 a month for 1 year. With fantastic speeds from 60 meg up to 1 gig. Dynamic streaming video, so real you can feel it. Amplified in-home Wi-Fi and all the power you need to power it all. Get Extreme Internet starting at $19.99 a month for 1 year. Call 844-EXTREME2.
Coming together makes us stronger. And Ford is built to lend a hand, especially now, with 6-month payment relief. Buy a new Ford. We'll defer 3 payments and make 3 payments for peace of mind up to 6 months. Shop at Ford.com or contact your Ford dealer to find out more about home delivery and other vehicle service options. You have a lot to take care of. Let us help take care of you.
It's time for the biggest sale of the year. It's time for the Toro Spring Sales Event. It's time to head to your local Toro dealer, where you can save up to $750 on select Toro Z-Masters, up to $600 on select Toro Time Cutters, and up to $500 on select Toro Grandstands and Titan HDs, plus special financing offers on brand new Toro equipment. Toro, count on it. For more info on great deals and financing offers, visit your local Toro dealer.
You wouldn't dump your yard waste into the lake, would you? Raking it into the street is just as bad. Anything in the street ends up in the storm sewers, which lead directly to our lakes and streams. Protect our waters by keeping leaves, grass clippings, and dirt off the street. Distribute yard debris over your lawn or in a wooded area on your property to keep it from running into the stormwater system. Visit lakesuperiorstreams.org.
Did you know the IT Networking and Security program at Hibbing Community College has graduates in every area of business in northern Minnesota? From hospitals and hospitality venues to financial institutions and even education.
Did you know at Hibbing Community College, diesel mechanic students take a semester of welding, and they have the option to get their Class A license?
Did you know that electrical maintenance graduates are employed in both residential and commercial industries? Now that you know, schedule a visit or apply online at hibbing.edu.
Well, the past week's been a bit on the nippy side, especially at night here on the deck. But tonight, despite a tiny bit of chill, it's not as bad as it has been. A sign that things are finally warming up. Tomorrow should be in the upper 40s for a lot of towns. And once we get into Saturday, yeah, I think we're going to get into the 50s, if only for Saturday. But again, like we've been worried about all week long, the price we pay on Saturday is going to be the chance for some rain now. Here's what's going on right now around our region as far as sky conditions go, and it's 28 degrees International Falls, 31 around the Twin Ports here, 28 degrees in Hayward, and 29 towards the Upper Peninsula. Overnight low temperatures could dip into the teens for some towns, but closer to the lake, probably lower 20s. So, yeah, like I've been saying for the past couple of days, little baby steps. Temperatures are starting to come up, and once they do, they may not stay up yet, but again, it's all a positive sign of springtime change coming our way. Right now at the airport, the current conditions indicate it's 31 degrees with a northwesterly wind running 5 miles per hour, and the air pressure just keeps on increasing. Now it's 1,021 millibars. It's been going up just about all day long as the heart of a high-pressure system settles over the region. Today it brought us sunshine, chased away those spotty flurries that we had for a couple of days, although they are trying to creep back in towards the Brainerd region. I think in general, though, the high pressure is going to have hold of us, keep us on the dry side, keep us on the clear side, at least through tomorrow. So our forecast for tomorrow says with the high plop down over the upper Midwest, we'll have sunshine, and it'll keep those two low pressure systems, one to the west, one to the east, at bay. And they're packing some snow, but that snow likely will run from Nebraska through Iowa towards Chicago rather than come up here in our part of the country. And on Saturday, by the time that western low gets within vicinity of our region, well, its northern fringes and its warm front will be with us, and I think we'll just get some rain showers. Only a 30% chance of rain showers on Saturday, and as early as Sunday, they could be gone once again, and sunshine will try to pop back into our picture. Our forecast picture for Minnesota tonight is indicating low temperatures are going to run the range of 13 inland to 22 right by the lake with a partly cloudy sky and a westerly wind 5 to 15. For Wisconsin and Michigan, the range of low temperatures there, a little bit brisk in some towns like towards the upper peninsula, but in general 17 to 22 will be a hair warmer than what folks in Minnesota get, with the same partly cloudy sky there. And because of the high, tomorrow should be partly cloudy in Wisconsin and the UP, with high temps running about 46 to 49 degrees. If 50 is the norm, we're missing it just by that much, as Get Smart used to say back in the day. Well, let's take a look at the forecast here in Minnesota for tomorrow, and that's going to show us a range of high temperatures that's roughly going from 45 to 50 degrees as well, with that partly cloudy sky. And now with the extended forecast for the week ahead, the 7-day forecast shows that we go from the 40s on Friday to the 50s on Saturday with that 30% chance for showers. Then we stumble just a little bit Sunday, but we clear up. So splitting the difference there may turn out to be rather pleasant, actually.
Not too shabby looking. Thanks, Dave.
Protesters gathered outside Governor Tim Walz's residence in St. Paul today to urge him to end the stay-at-home order. David Schumann shares with us some of their personal stories of struggle resulting from the quarantine.
Calling for freedom, these protesters want to be able to go back to work.
I am being harassed by bill collectors because I'm unable to pay my bills.
Angelina Penkert is a single mom who can't work either of her two jobs. For her, the dire financial situation surpasses any health concerns.
If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. If God decides that this would be the illness that would take my life, then it would be it.
Each of these letters pinned up on the governor's fence tells a story of someone struggling financially or with their mental health.
We want to work, we want to go to our parks, we want to go to school, we want to go back to life.
Many here share the opinion that continuing the state shutdown is a case of government overreach.
If you are so willing to give up your civil liberties, then move to a country that's communist.
I asked several protesters, what about the health risks, the possibility of spreading the virus?
Wash your hands, wear a mask.
We can be told what those mitigation measures are and be trusted to apply those to our lives.
Almost none of the street protesters Thursday wore masks or physically distanced, as the CDC recommends.
No, we aren't. We're not scared of this virus.
Get it. I mean, this is a democracy, and I don't oppose them protesting, but I certainly wish they were wearing masks. I wish they were social distancing.
There's another protest planned here tomorrow at noon with the same messaging about reopening the state.
A statement from the governor's office today said we can't lose our democracy during this pandemic, and that includes people exercising their First Amendment rights. The governor asked those demonstrating to use social distancing guidelines.
Still to come on Live, local CBS3 businesses in Michigan are struggling and looking for answers on how and when to open back up.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Welcome to Medical Insight, a weekly healthcare feature brought to you by the experts at Essentia Health. Here's your host, Louis St. George.
Opioids are used primarily to treat pain, though they also can produce a state of euphoria, sometimes resulting in dependency or addiction. Dr. Joe Bianco, a physician at Essentia Health, has witnessed both the benefits and detriments of opioid use.
Opioids are very important in our daily medical practice. They make a big difference on how we treat our patients. The key is using them safely. So if you've been on opioids for a long time and you find that you need to take more and more, but your pain is getting worse or it's not getting any better, something to think about is reducing the amount of opioids that you're on, because sometimes opioids can cause more pain. The patient can always refuse to use them as well or not wish to have them. And we have other means to take care of pain that we can explore with patients. Addiction is a chronic disease, just like any other disease. And too often we've moralized addiction. And what we're doing right now is encouraging people to see this as a medical condition, just like hypertension or diabetes.
Essentia Health has been a leader regionally in addressing the opioid epidemic. Within the past 5 years, we've seen a 50% decrease in patients started on opioids for chronic pain.
Three of the main ways that Essentia is addressing opioids is by reducing the amount of opioids within the community, treating pain differently, and for our patients who do have opioid use disorder or addiction, we're working on helping them manage their chronic disease. I'm encouraged by the progress that we're seeing in making a healthy difference in our patients' lives.
For Medical Insight, I'm Louis St. George.
This Medical Insight was brought to you by Essentia Health. To learn more about the services we offer, visit essentiahealth.org.
Duluth Lawn and Sports is open. 4715 Grand Avenue, Duluth. Classic Rock KQ is once again the Northland's #1 radio station. The KQ Morning Show, the most listened to radio program in the Northland. The KQ Train Wreck, the Northland's #1 afternoon show. Thank you for making us the Northland's #1 radio station. 95 KQDS.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez on CBS3.
As stay-at-home orders continue, small businesses continue to try and stay above water. That includes businesses in Saginaw, Michigan, who say they don't know what it will take to get back on their feet.
Downtown Frankenmuth, empty. Old Town Saginaw, abandoned. Be it restaurants or bars.
It's pretty desolate.
And so is the income of our local business owners.
You're not making any money.
Business is very much hurting.
That's the voice of Tim V2, operations manager of Retro Rocks Pub. They just opened a Bay City location before the pandemic reached full swing.
72 hours later, we were under shutdown order. 24 people on layoff up there.
And when they're able to reopen, it's not going to be as simple as flipping the sign on the door.
We haven't heard anything concrete, certainly from anyone in the state of Michigan, about what their future plans are to bars and restaurants back open again.
You don't know what to prepare for. How many staff members do you bring back in? How quickly? Is this going to be you're right back into wild times, or is it going to be a slow slope?
And will social distancing guidelines have to be enforced?
Well, it's a terrible position. Our dining room is 14 foot wide. Unless they change these guidelines, it's unlikely that we would even be able to open under those circumstances.
What are your needs? Is it going to be PPE, personal protection equipment for your employees? Is it how do you bring your employees back in a safe manner?
I applaud their effort. They all understand that everything is at risk. Everything is at risk.
Coming up next in sports, U of D men's hockey and basketball getting a whole bunch of fresh talent next year.
Watch Jeopardy at 4:30, followed by CBS3 Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
Through all the world events since 1936, Culligan Water has continued to provide better, safer water with our filtration systems for homes and businesses. These days, as a designated essential business, Culligan's water professionals are standing by ready to help.
You are not alone.
Our whole community is pulling together, from your healthcare team
To your first responders,
to your police force, to keep our community healthy and safe. If you can, please stay home during this time. This will slow the spread of the virus and can help save lives. By staying apart, we keep our community together. For the latest on COVID-19, please visit the CDC and Minnesota Department of Health websites.
we're ready.
We're united. We're here.
Coming together makes us stronger. And Ford is built to lend a hand, especially now, with 6-month payment relief. Buy a new Ford. We'll defer 3 payments and make 3 payments for peace of mind up to 6 months. Shop at Ford.com or contact your Ford dealer to find out more about home delivery and other vehicle service options. You have a lot to take care of. Let us help take care of you.
At times like these, connection has never been more important. For staying in touch with families, working and learning remotely, or being able to reach out and help others. Spectrum is helping in whatever ways we can, with public Wi-Fi that's open to all, internet access for kids who need it, and a network built to handle anything, even a time like this. So you can count on us to keep you connected when it matters most.
There will be parties again soon, and family gatherings. There will be parades, and sporting events, and concerts. To help our communities when they come back together, respond to the 2020 census now. Spend a few minutes online today to impact the next 10 years of healthcare, infrastructure, and education. Go to 2020census.gov and respond today to make America's tomorrow brighter. It's time to shape our future.
The world is changing quickly, and it's important to find calm in the storm. We're all focusing on the things that matter most: family, community, safety. At Northland Lawn Sport and Equipment, we're here to help you get back outside. Take a deep breath. Get the job done right. Have fun. We're here with you, and we've got everything you need to enjoy the outdoors at historically low prices. See Jeff, Frank, and Alex. We'll be here when you need us.
Wash your hands. Avoid sick people and touching your face. There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. Brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station. Welcome back into sports. Since taking over the UMD men's basketball program just 2 seasons ago, Justin Wick has absolutely amped up his recruiting, and it definitely shows as the team is coming off one of their best seasons in program history. Well, today UMD announced 2 more recruits to the UMD basketball program, rounding out their impressive 8-player recruiting class for the Dogs. Joshua Brown and Cole Nicholson, both products of the Twin Cities, have signed to join the Bulldogs this coming fall. Brown is a 6'4" guard from Park Center, Minnesota, and listed as the number 22 ranked prospect in the Minnesota 2020 class. That's according to Prep Hoops Minnesota. Nicholson is a 6'6" forward originally from Chaska. He joins the Bulldogs after redshirting at Northern Colorado University this past season and was listed as the 9th ranked prospect in the 2019 class by Prep Hoops. And in more national letter of intent news, Blake Biondi announced via his Instagram page that he has signed his letter to play for the Bulldogs next season. This means he will forego any gap time playing junior hockey in between high school and college. Biondi has already verbally committed to play at UMD back during his sophomore year. The Hermantown senior forward led the Hawks to the Class A state title game this past season, and he had 10 playoff goals in the process. He also won the Mr. Hockey Award, tallying a whopping total of 95 points in his senior season, 47 of which were goals. And another former Hawk will be joining Biondi with the Bulldogs next year. That's Darian Goetz, who signed his national letter of intent as well. The defenseman spent this past year playing junior hockey with the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders, where he played in 47 USHL games and had spent time with the Minnesota Wilderness. Before that, he helped the Hawks win their third state title back in 2017. So really, we might have to start calling them the Hermantown Bulldogs next year, because Cole Koepke and Jesse Jocks will be juniors. They're products of Hermantown, Minnesota. And with Biondi and Goats coming in, UMD will feature 4 former Hawks. It could have been 5, but Dylan Sandberg, of course, signed with the Winnipeg Jets. And another Bulldog recruit signed their national letter of intent, Luke Millamock, an 18-year-old center who spent most of his career playing in Canada, but did play 2 seasons of juniors with the Green Bay Gamblers. As the COVID-19 pandemic continues, it appears the Major League Soccer schedule will slide once again. Tuesday, the league said its initial target of returning in mid-May just isn't going to happen. Today, reports indicate that the MLS is planning to postpone matches until June 8th, and that's at the earliest. The Sports Journal and The Athletic were the first sources to report a return date during the second week in June. MLS Commissioner Don Garber told ESPN that if and when play does resume, games would be played behind closed doors with no fans, and that is likely the situation that a lot of sports that are going to have to go to as well. Well, looking more forward ahead to fall sports this coming fall, Saints will open their season on September 1st. The men's soccer team, when they travel to St. John's, it's the first time the Saints will travel to Collegeville since 2005 as they release their schedule today. And looking ahead to the fall sports season, the college and oh my goodness. And then they will return home and then head down to Arden Hills before coming back home. So certainly looking forward to fall sports. Hopefully they will happen. But again, we're going to have to wait and see, as the MLS announced. June 8th is the earliest that they'll get back to sports, and there is no definite guarantee there. For now, that's going to do for sports tonight. We'll be right back after the break.
CBS3 closed captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health. Choose to make a healthy difference in people's lives and join our team. Visit EssentiaCareers.org.
It's time for the biggest sale of the year. It's time for the Toro Spring Sales Event. It's time to head to your local Toro dealer, where you can save up to $750 on select Toro Z-Masters, up to $600 on select Toro Time Cutters, and up to $500 on select Toro Grandstands and Titan HDs, plus special financing offers on brand new Toro equipment. Toro, count on it. For more info on great deals and financing offers, visit your local Toro dealer.
We know it can be scary when you're injured in an accident.
We know the insurance company can be unfair.
We know bills need to be paid. But we also know what it takes to win.
We know what it takes to get our clients compensated.
And most importantly, we always fight to do the right thing for our community. Nicolay knows.
Nicolay knows.
Nicolay knows.
Nicolay knows injury law.
Nicolay Law, Northern Minnesota's award-winning injury, disability, and bankruptcy law firm.
When you watched CBS3 Live at 5, you saw the news and weather of the day that affected you most.
Essentia took action.
Elected officials are encouraging everyone to
Race course up the North Shore.
You received a live, local look at what was happening around you, your family, and your
The
neighbors.
city of Hayward competing
for the Red Cliff Band in Wisconsin.
Crafters in Gilbert to a sewing factory.
For stories that are focused on the communities you live and work in, right down to your neighborhood. Continue watching CBS3 Live at 5, weekdays at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
Vaping has been declared a national epidemic among youth. 1 in 3 high schoolers vape in northeastern Minnesota.
My child started having seizures from vaping. There's still so many unknown chemicals.
One vape cartridge has as much nicotine as at least 2 packs of cigarettes.
My child was hospitalized with severe lung injuries.
They said it was no big deal.
My child said it was no risk.
That it was under control.
That's what my child said. But what could I have said? Get the facts and talk to your child today.
Kristen Vaki, as a fellow Iron Ranger, brings a calmness to our team. She's unflappable.
Kristen Vaki is one of the most respected anchors in this market.
I think her passion for journalism runs really deep in her.
Kristen is the real deal, a pleasure to work with, and you can always count on her.
Get to know Kristen Vaki, weeknights on Live Local CBS3.
Find your favorite CW shows on the Duluth CW, cable, satellite, over the air, and streaming on KDLH Duluth.
Northland students are making preparations to graduate in an unconventional way.
Yeah, Two Harbors High School handed out cap and gowns to the class of 2020. With social distancing orders in place, the students picked up their graduation gowns via a drive-through. One student, Annabelle Whalen, said she's planning to participate in commencement ceremonies at the school's gymnasium. She also knows that this could change and says it would be hard if graduation was canceled.
Oh, gosh, I can't even imagine.
Yeah. That would be frustrating. You spend 12 years of your life at a school and then you can't graduate.
Even today, what they were doing was driving up through the school just in their cars and being handed their caps and gowns, which is such an odd way to go through that whole process.
Very odd, yes.
It's such a big deal. So I hope they get a proper graduation.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you tomorrow.